Benvenuti a Ciliegine, il podcast di Teatri Riflessi.
Ehi, benvenuti, buona serata, oggi in diretta, venerdì 15 maggio, sono le 7:30 più o meno, aspetta che non mi ricordo, 19:41, no, siamo in ritardo di 41 minuti, ma che importa. Ben ritrovate e ritrovati a tutti quanti, anche a Jacopo, se ci sta vedendo, che si lamenta del fatto che il nostro sfondo è troppo luminoso e si lamenta con Simona. Ma oggi che siamo all'orario corretto, il sole ci permette di fare questa diretta. Giusto Bruno Cirasa? Giusto. Stavo guardando con Bruno Cirasa quelli che sono gli appuntamenti di oggi per questa giornata di Ciliegine. Intanto vi voglio dire una cosa. Per Ciliegine intervisteremo e quindi sentiremo tra poco 3 dei corti in gara dell'11ª edizione del concorso internazionale di corti performativi che si svolgerà dal 16 al 19 luglio 2026 all'interno di Teatri Riflessi Festival nel Parco Comunale negli spazi di Zafferana Etnea. Ingresso gratuito, vi aspettiamo tutti quanti a partire dall'evento ogni sera, poi in realtà il festival ha attività che iniziano dalle 16 alle 16:30 ogni giorno. Quindi insomma poi ne parleremo quando saremo lì a pochi giorni dall'arrivo del festival. Ma ci tengo a dire una cosa, domani sabato 16 maggio, stavo dicendo luglio, no? Sabato 16 maggio saremo a Trame di Quartiere a Catania, quartiere San Berillo. Chi è che scrive su WhatsApp? Secondo me è Giuliana. Chiudo WhatsApp, giusto Giuliana? Eri tu? Sì. Stavo mandando il link per la diretta, ma questo è il bello della diretta, per questo Simona preferisce fare i video registrati, giusto? Sì. Allora, vi dicevo, domani sabato 16 maggio, Trame di Quartiere, quartiere San Berillo, avremo un evento particolare, 2 attività del Festival Assaggi di Primavera, che poi continuerà per tutto maggio. Inizieremo dalle 18 con le videoproiezioni in loop delle migliori opere della danza in un minuto, un video contest organizzato ormai da tantissimi anni, questo è il 12° anno, da Corpi, il nostro partner di Torino, e fa parte di questo progetto Prodes Caravan di diffusione di opere di danza e videodanza in Italia in diversi festival. Quindi dalle 18 più o meno alle 20 sarà possibile vedere queste videoproiezioni, sono opere di videoarte e videodanza della durata più o meno di un minuto. E poi dalle 19 alle 19:30 circa uno spettacolo pensato proprio per gli spazi urbani e avrà luogo nel cortile di Trame di Quartiere dei Gioiuzza di Veronica Parlagreco, di cui abbiamo già parlato qualche ciliegina fa. Quindi vi aspettiamo domani. Passate un pomeriggio con noi interamente gratuito tra le 18 e le 20 a Trame di Quartiere e avrete anche modo di vedere la mostra narrazioni che si inaugura oggi proprio a Trame di Quartiere, che racconta la storia del Palazzo dei Gaetani e le trasformazioni che hanno anche operato i ragazzi e le ragazze della cooperativa sociale Trame di Quartiere. Adesso, dopo questa lunga introduzione, vi introduco le interviste di oggi, che saranno tutte di Valerio Verzin, sì, il nostro direttore artistico e curatore, che al momento è in Francia, ci tengo anche a dire che lui è in Francia. Roberta Venera Gambino è appena partita per Sofia in Bulgaria, invece Orazio Morace è a Novi Sad in Serbia per 3 festival diversi di cui siamo partner, siamo molto felici. Noi 3 siamo qua, ma domani abbiamo appunto questi spettacoli che non ci potevamo perdere. Allora, oggi Valerio intervisterà i protagonisti e le protagoniste di questi corti in gara. Iniziamo con lo spettacolo Walking on Two di Mika Kopfer della Germania, poi ci sarà l'intervista a Lucas Crew Min-Soo Kim della Corea del Sud per lo spettacolo Tuning, e alla fine l'intervista a Henry Kushos, Cipro e Grecia, lui è originario di Cipro ma è attivo come coreografo in Grecia, per lo spettacolo The Day After, che andrà in scena nella semifinale di venerdì 17 luglio, quindi la seconda, mentre le prime 2 interviste sono relative a 2 spettacoli che potrete vedere nella prima semifinale di giovedì 16 luglio. E adesso, se Bruno mi dà l'ok, tanto lui non ne frega più niente, noi siamo pronti, giusto Simona? Allora, buone interviste e alla prossima ciliegina. Ciao!
Siete pronti?
Sta per iniziare la prima parte di Ciliegine,
Il podcast di Teatri Riflessi.
buona visione!
Pazza!
Thank you for being here with us today, chatting a little bit about you and your work. I really want to start by asking you to say something about yourself and especially about your artistic research, like overall. What drives it? What moves? What are your interests?
Hello, thank you for inviting me and to have the opportunity to talk and to share my thoughts. I'm Mika, I'm 33 years old, not 20 anymore. Yeah, my artistic research and practice is something that I'm still building, and I feel it changes all the time. But for 7 years that I already create independently, I can somehow reflect and to see, I have the ability to see what stays and what goes away. And I came from a mixed background, like dancing background from more childhood, combining also with theater studies, and then studying visual theater, which was focusing more on directing and also working a lot with images and scenography. And I think something that really interests me is to create a world that inside I position myself. So it's a lot about creating this world and imagination and the specificity of the piece that you enter into. So I try to make it specific to myself, but also invite the audience to really get into the logic of this world or of this behavior of this figure, body, dancer, actor. And in this solo specifically, I chose to narrow this world into one body. So it's very minimalistic in that sense. And then all the rest I try to amplify, like to really be aware of the touch of the body with the floor. And from this, try to think about the musicality or first of all, the sound that the body creates with the meeting of the floor, and then to develop it to the musicality. And then also working with other sources and inspiration, which in this work is the piece of Arbor Part, and which very inspires me because it's a very beautifully constructed piece, which is very minimalist, but has a very effective emotional. So I try to build this relationship between my own sound and rhythm of the body and percussive even of this floor, and also the conversation I have with the music, which is also very canonic, I would say, piece.
Since you're talking about the specific piece, Walking on Two,
Yes.
I'd like to go deeper a little bit on the way it connects with the theme of the festival, legacy.
I think for me, in this piece, when entering into the studio, it was after a long time when I work with many performers and objects and like bigger themes. And it was returning again alone to the studio. And then there was this kind of pressure or this feeling that there is such a big history and this legacy, which is also so beautiful, but somehow you carry it also in each movement, kind of reminds you a certain choreographer or a certain tradition. So I was trying also to find my own way in it, like to invent my own vocabulary, but at the same time also to be aware and like to have my small conversation with other choreographers that I love. And I think it's something very internal. Maybe some people can see it outside, but it's actually, in a way, each creation for me that you do, you kind of speak with the people that you admire, like with the legacy and with like the things that you carry all the time in your mind.
Would you like to add something for the public, for the audience that will see the piece in Zafferana? If you have like a question, an invitation to them, anything.
Yeah, I would take maybe for an exercise, I invite you to choose one gesture you think you do the most, a physical gesture, and maybe only in your imagination, but of course you can try it also physically, to try to see how much variation you can make to the same gesture. For me, this is something very interesting, and also it's artistic approach. There's also a lot of composer use, but how can something that is very simple become very complex? And how the imagination can play a big role in creation and in life.
And we cannot wait to play with you in the Etnea next July. So thank you very much, Mika. See you
Thank
very
you.
soon. Thank you, Minsu, for being here. I have a few questions for you to get to know you better. And the first one of these is, can you say something about yourself and your work in general, especially if there's something that fascinates or interests you in your artistic research?
Okay. So my name is Minsu Kim. Now I'm working as a choreographer, based in everywhere. Now I don't know where I base specifically. I was working as a dancer last 5 years till 2025, and then I just stopped. How can I say that? Like, full-time dancer, and then I become
Yeah.
freelancer and more try to focusing on choreograph. And also that's why I try to show myself, my choreograph to everywhere. I think my choreography style is really focused on physicality, because I'm think still I'm young and I don't want to regret when I become older. So I really want to dance when I can dance more harder. So I'm really focusing on physicality and try to make my dancers super sweat, getting tired. Yes.
Fantastic. And talking about the piece that you will be presenting in Zafferana Etnea, tuning, my question is, how does that link to the festival theme? This year, we've decided to talk about legacy. So how does that resonate with this idea of legacy?
So the title is tuning, and then we really just focus on one thing, which is the Japanese traditional instrument, taiko. And then this is like East Asian, we have kind of like Japan has taiko, Korean has a book, and also the dancer is Japanese who will dance with me. And then for us, sounds is not, how can I say, it's like as an instrument, and instrument music art is heritage. And then we really try to visualize the sounds of taiko, and we didn't interrupt any original sound from taiko. So even that instrument is more than 1,000 years, but it still give me a lot of energy from the sound, how echo is going, and still a lot of musicians playing taiko. And also I think in the future still a lot of musicians will play taiko. So that's what I want to say.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
All right. And one very last question. Is there something, like anything that you would like to say to the audience that will come and see you perform in Zafferan Etnea in July?
I just heard that there will be around more than 1,000 audience. And for me, it's a very wonderful experience. Will be very wonderful experience. And I will be very happy to show my piece to audience, like this amount of audience. and also with my duet partner and our culture sound. So I wish they come and then I wish they don't try to analyze, just see and listen, just enjoy that moment is what I hope and wish. Yes.
Thank you so much, Minsu, and thanks for like sharing this with us. So we can't wait to have you in Sicily. Take care and bye-bye.
Thank you.
Hi, Harry, and thank you for being here. I have a few questions for you just to get to know you better. So I'll start straight ahead with the first one. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your work? What moves your artistic research?
Sure. Hello, Valerio. And thank you for having me here, first of all. If I may say something about me, it's actually about my work and who I am through the work, which I don't think is very different from who I am in my life in general. I'm very curious to explore my body and through my body, life in general. So I'm always trying to expand myself, especially lately. It's more conscious my intention and the way I'm doing it. I'm trying to expand my limits and find new ways of being. And the purpose is to get to know me more and more and more. And it's something that I would like to share. It's something that I recently realized as well. I started with acting classes when I was 11 years old in Cyprus. And then the next year, immediately got into dance, and then just dance took me in a long journey. I studied ballet and contemporary dance, and I studied like to be a teacher. I was in love with the technique and the method of teaching and everything, and I was very, very focused into dance, and I forgot a little bit about acting, which is also what I like. Not exactly acting, but using words to communicate and finding the words to communicate is something that really interests me. So years after my long career as a dancer, I decided, not very bravely at the beginning, to bring back into my personal work the words. And the day after, and maybe now it's time that we move to the next question, which is
Absolutely.
about the day after. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So,
the yeah,
the question is just to get to know a little bit more about the work that you will bring to Zafranet now. How
yeah,
does that, in a way, relate to the festival theme,
yeah,
which is legacy?
yeah. Okay. I'll answer to you. I'll start from the point that I was before, that the day after this specific work started in 2022, and it was my first steps into bringing back the words, the text into my personal work as a way of that interests me a lot, a way to communicate with people. But I wasn't so brave back then, so the text is recorded. So I wasn't, yeah, the text is recorded as you going to see in July in the festival. And at the same time, it was the first time that I brought into my work or my consciousness in front of me the subject, who I am, who, and who I am into my family and what family is for me, what was the legacy of my family in my body. Um, Maybe let's say that I saw legacy as the traumas, as everything that I am carrying from my family, from the past into the present moment, into the now. And it's funny because now I'm still working on the same subject, but now I'm more brave and I talk on stage. But this is a new work. And yeah, I think the legacy is what left behind after I saw my family. Like, I think I dared to, as an adult, to confront, to see my family. And it was my first initiation to detach myself from them and start making my own decisions of who I want to be, how I want to be. So maybe it's the day after the disaster, let's say. It's the day after of the little death that we have during life. It's the day after of what I do with this legacy. Because in the piece I talk about the ruins. I'm under the ruins of my house. And I'm finding pieces of legacy, like photos or tools of my father's tools, um, clothes of my sister. So I'm trying to understand, what am I doing with this that I have in my hands? So it's a piece about confronting myself. It's a reflection of myself. I'm facing myself. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
One very last question. Is there anything you would like to say to the audience, which is gonna come and see the piece in
Yeah.
Zafferanetnea now?
Yeah, I would like to say that in general, I am someone that is, I'm very alive in the term of that I never prepare anything of how I'm gonna look or what I'm gonna say, or even when I teach a class, I never think before. I'm someone that is really connected with the here and now, which I really like and enjoy. And even if I have to set things like a choreography or the text, I'm always working on the now. I am reapproaching every moment in the nowness, let's say. So what I want to say that I'm also very excited and curious to see who I am, how am I moving as a dancer, as a mover at this age, at this time of being in 2026, because this is a work from 2022. So I'm coming to Sicily with this excitement to also see who am I on stage in front of this audience. How am I moving today? How this work affects me, because I was a different person back then. And usually, and this is my closure. Usually, I meet myself in the future. Like I write something like this piece. I wrote the text with my dramaturg, and I'm still finding pieces of myself today. It's like when I'm writing or choreographing or creating in general, it's not so conscious, but I meet myself in the future. And so I'm really looking forward to meet you and myself in the future as a
We're
present
also
moment.
looking
Yes.
forward to it. Thank you so much, Harry, and see you in the future in
Yes.
Zafferanetnea.
Yes. Thank you, Valeria. Thank you very, very much. And yes, I'm looking forward to meet you in person.
Per oggi Ciliegine è finito.
Non ti preoccupare, il podcast di Teatri Riflessi tornerà tra 2 settimane.
Sempre di venerdì alla stessa ora.
Ci vediamo presto.
Bye bye!